Gypsy Rose made this post last night on Instagram, and y'all, I have some questions, but first, let's read the caption. We have been through storms, seasons, and so much life together, and somehow love just gets sweeter. Nights like this, his heartbeat under my cheek, his arm wrapped around me, is a reminder that our love story is one thing in the world I would never change. Now, if I was her, there are a few things that I would personally change, and I'll get into that in a minute. But first, I want to ask, when did Ken become a lovely chocolate man?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, are you cheating on your man? I don't know. This is all alleged. But this hand does not look like the hand of Ken. I might be wrong. And we're going to go back and look at another picture. But I want y'all to look very carefully at that thumb. Okay? And the amount of hair on this arm. Now, granted, the arm is a little bit darker. Maybe he's working outside. They say he's working outside. But hold your horses. But this is Ken's hand. Look at that thumb. That is not the same thumb, in my opinion. And it's not the same amount of hair, in my opinion. What do y'all think? Let's spin the block again. This is that hand. That thumb does not look like the same thumb. And Knuckles being dark like that dark, I don't know. This looks like a brown man. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Anyways, Gypsy, I know there's things that you wouldn't change, but a normal person would be embarrassed at the fact that they cheated on their husband and got pregnant before even filing for the divorce, especially if they were fresh out of prison. And let's not forget your prison emails you wrote about Ken. Hashtag Ken is gay. That was you, baby. And while I don't personally care if he is or is not gay, if my partner had wrote some shit like you wrote about him, there's no way I would be present. I would also be extremely embarrassed if I was dry begging on the internet for some man to give me his last name, and he wouldn't. Anyways, how's your ring finger feeling? Naked? Yeah, I figured.
Okay, girl, real quick. Before we even get into it, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? Drop it down below because I swear I love seeing how y'all are literally from everywhere. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. You already know, that way you don't miss when we spill the next round of tea. Okay, let's get into it because this one, whew. So apparently, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, yes, that Gypsy Rose, is packing her bags and heading to Disney. And honestly, I feel like we might need to issue a little weather warning because if Gypsy's coming to Orlando, then Hurricane Gypsy might just be forming off the coast, girl. I'm half joking, but also, am I?
And I'm going to try one. The top is a Catalina one pocket scrub top. I got it in an extra small, which is the size I usually get, and it fits perfect. I love it. The pants, on the other hand, why are these so tight? These are an extra small, which my other pants are extra smalls too, but they do not fit like this. So these will be getting exchanged for a small, and I got petite, which I could probably just do regular too, but
Can anybody relate to trying to find jeans when you are a size 2 and you're 4'11"? Oh my god, this is so annoying. You stand here forever and you're just going through this and you're looking for the short, and then you go up because it's just the sizes go bigger as you go down, the sizes go smaller as you go up, and then it's people just stop being short at a size 4. What?
Anyway, she recently posted this pic of her wearing a Harry Potter shirt. Super casual, right? But then she went on her story talking about how she's been sorted into Gryffindor. Okay, ma'am. First of all, what? Second of all, why? I mean, Gryffindor? Really? That's the house for bravery and courage and, the whole doing the right thing. And I'm sorry, but bravery? Courage? Gypsy? Girl, I don't know if that's exactly the vibe. Now, don't get me wrong. I guess you could technically say she was brave in the sense that she did something extreme, but there's a big difference between bravery and doing the unthinkable. You know what I mean? It's not giving heroic act. It's giving Hogwarts, please double check that sorting hat.
Gypsy Rose has responded to a comment on her post about saving for her Disney trip for her daughter, and this is what she had to say. Because I am a mom now who actually is doing things the right way, unlike my upbringing, being able to say that I am a mother who can give her daughter a trip to Disney without being dishonest is bringing something that was once negative and making it positive. Only, Gypsy, you are being dishonest. Because if it was not for your mother, Dee Dee, you wouldn't be known. And because you're known, you sit on lives and grift money all day from your followers. What was it, $500 in the last 40 days? You know what would make you honest, Gypsy? Getting a job and making money like everybody else, instead of making money off of your mother. Because your mother, Dee Dee, paid your way as a child, and she has continued to pay your way into adulthood. Half of y'all wouldn't even have money if it wasn't for Dee Dee. So no, Gypsy, you're still being dishonest. And your mom may have grifted money from charities to get you over to Disney, but baby, you have grifted money from your followers to get your daughter over to Disney. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it, babe?
Anyway, I guess she's planning a whole Universal trip too. Probably heading straight for the Wizarding World to live out her Gryffindor fantasy or whatever. And honestly, if you're anywhere near Orlando right now, you might want to make some plans to, step out for a few days. I'm just saying. Stay safe out there, Florida. But here's where things start getting messy. And I mean messy. Because people seem to forget who we're actually talking about here. This is the same woman who, let's be honest, literally convinced a man with the mental age of a child, a guy on permanent disability, mind you, to, well, end her mother's life. And yeah, that's dark, I know, but it's the truth. He wasn't just some random guy, okay? This man was on the autism spectrum, had a low IQ and multiple mental health issues. He was not the mastermind here, not even close.
Did it ever scare you? Did you ever think he was going to do something to you?
I mean, of course, later on in the relationship.
Oh my God.
But I still was in the mindset oh, this person loves me. This person is giving me attention.
First off, it's absolutely insane that we are asking a person who planned, plotted, and basically paid for a murder if she was fucking scared, honey. Secondly, I don't know why Gypsy Rose walks around this hoe acting like she didn't say some awful things as her own fantasies. Things to do with causing extreme pain and graping. Then there is the fact that Gypsy Rose, 4 years before the murder, and a year before she even started messing with Nicholas Godejohn, unloaded a clip on her mama, not realizing it was a BB Pew Pew, okay? If you go watch episode 3 of Prison Confessions, Gypsy Rose flat out says, I was so relieved when I realized it was a BB Pew Pew because I really didn't want to kill her. She claims she picked it up off the table, but the Pew Pew shots from the crime scene pictures start in Gypsy Rose's room. That whole story that Dee Dee got that thing because, she was trying to protect herself from Dan. No, I don't believe that. I think that Gypsy Rose probably stole that, just like she stole her cell phone, just like she stole the knife from Nick. You know, Gypsy Rose is the one that made all those weird claims about what they were going to do with their kid. What else she was doing when she was telling Nick all that weird shit? Actively stealing baby clothes. Yeah, she's blaming it on Damona, of course, just like how she blames Gypsy for the things she did with other men. She blames things on her other personas. Isn't it interesting how Gypsy Rose has 5 freaking personas, and Nick has Victor. He was the ringleader of all these alter egos and shit. Only did it to please him, honey. I'm gonna be honest, a good bit of my video was my opinion. Some of that was right from Gypsy Rose's mouth, honey. It's for entertainment purposes only, my opinion, and you know what I think. She did that shit.
But somehow, Gypsy's managed to villainize him. She paints him as this evil monster while she walks around like some misunderstood fairy tale character. Girl, be for real. And don't even get me started on how she's twisted the story about her mom, Dee Dee. Because look, Dee Dee definitely had her issues, okay? There was some level of manipulation and grifting going on there, absolutely. But Gypsy wasn't some helpless little angel trapped in the tower either. She was part of the scam. She knew what was up. She was in it. She was 23 years old when all of this went down. A whole adult, not a little girl who didn't understand what was happening. What blows my mind is how she's managed to turn the entire internet into her personal PR team.
Saying that she was found laying face down on the bed. I stared at that.
Yeah.
And was trying to decide whether there was enough colors there to be considered.
Yeah.
And told myself no.
David Blanchard is the neighbor that saw the Facebook post that Dee Dee may be in trouble, so he ran over to Dee Dee's house supposedly to go through the window, over the sink, didn't knock anything over, but he went to go check on Dee Dee and didn't even see her. which I find is a little hard to believe because Dee Dee was 250 pounds, give or take. She would be really difficult to not see, and I think personally that David must have known this looked a little weird, and that's why he addressed his concerns. But let me know what you think. Do you think that David maybe did see Dee Dee, or do you think he did not see her? Let me know what you think.
Like, y'all, the media literally fed us this narrative, this perfectly packaged story of poor Gypsy Rose, the tragic victim of Munchausen by proxy. They made her look like this frail survivor who finally broke free, and they turned her ex-boyfriend Nicholas into the cold-hearted killer. But when you actually dig into the facts, it's a lot more complicated than that. We've got medical documents that suggest Gypsy may have been malingering, meaning like faking or exaggerating symptoms. There are court records confirming that Nicholas was on the autism spectrum, and even experts said he was easily manipulated. There's a genetic report too, a microdeletion on chromosome 1 Q21.1 that explained a lot of Gypsy's developmental and medical issues. And you know what's wild? Dee Dee found that out years before everything happened. She was trying to figure out what was wrong with her daughter, not inventing illnesses out of thin air.
Help me give them an answer as to why. Okay? You have to give an answer as to why because they are so concerned about you.
I know. I have a lot of friends in this already. I know that. And, I would never hurt my mom.
Okay, sweetheart, you really want to date yourself? You're dating yourself deeper.
No, seriously, I would never hurt
Listen
her.
to me.
Gypsy Rose's interrogation is the most telling piece of evidence they had against our honey. She went in there, she lied about her birthday, she lied about the spelling of her name, she told them when she was sick, when she knew she wasn't. Also extremely eye-opening to see how Gypsy Rose can sit right there, no Dee Dee around, she's calm as can be, and she looked dead at that detective and lied straight to his face, talking about, if anything, I don't tell lies. She ain't skipping a beat when it comes to acting like she had no idea what happened to her mother. Well, then there's the mention of the friends. See, Gypsy in this interrogation says, yeah, I have a lot of friends in Missouri. Then when her crime and her story made it to Lifetime and Hulu, oh yeah, I was never allowed to have friends. She showed everybody who she was in this interrogation. There was no Dee Dee, there was no Nick. It was just Gypsy Rose Alcida Blanchard in all her fucking glory. And she showed y'all who she was. She shows us every day that she hops on this damn internet and says things like, even Jesus was crucified for living in his truth. She worded that is so weird because Jesus is the truth. People come for you because of your lies, not because of any truth that you've told, which are few and far between, ma'am. Most importantly, Gypsy Rose's interrogation showed just how freaking capable she was of manipulating people without anybody around. She didn't need help. She didn't do it because somebody was with her or because she was forced. She did it for Gypsy. Just like what she did with Nick. She manipulated him, made him believe she needed saving, and had him kill her mother. And then she hangs on to the thread of, I would never hurt my mother, but she did not hold the knife that made the wounds. Just paid for the dude to get there, gave him the knife, opened the door, told him the floor creaked, told him her mom took her sleeping meds. I'm just saying, but hey, this ain't all alleged. Some of this shit is straight from her damn case. It's for entertainment purposes only, in my opinion, but she did that shit.
Like, girl, can we talk about that for a second? Dee Dee was never officially diagnosed with Munchausen's by proxy. That's a label the public, and let's be honest, Netflix, kind of slapped on her after the fact. What we do know is that she was doing everything she could to get answers. And in 2011, 4 years before the murder, she actually did. So this idea that she was just some evil woman torturing her child for attention, it doesn't hold up when you look at the real evidence. Now, let's get into Nicholas for a second, because I feel like people have really erased his side of things. Like, this man was not some criminal mastermind. He was manipulated by someone who knew exactly how to push his buttons. Someone who promised him love, loyalty, and a life together if he just did one thing. And that one thing was literally take her mother's life.
Well, look what we have here, Gypsy writes. A little change can bring a whole new kind of confidence. These new glasses aren't just about better vision. They're about embracing who I am, imperfections and all, learning to love the details, appreciate the journey, and celebrate the version of me that keeps evolving. Listen, guys, Gypsy made a huge deal out of having to wear Coke bottle glasses when she was younger. She said her mother made her wear glasses and that she didn't need them, just like she has said she didn't need half the other things that she had. Once again, Gypsy proves to be a liar. She needs glasses, just like she needed everything else. She acts like, here I am, world, look at me, and this is new, but it's not. We've seen you in glasses for most of the pictures that we've seen of you as a child. So stop telling everybody that your mom made you do things, because we all know it's not true. And here's just another one to add to the list.
Like, it's so twisted when you think about it. And then, after all of that, after everything that went down, Gypsy gets out of prison and starts, I don't even know, building this influencer career, like modeling, doing interviews, giving healing era energy, but it's all just so tone deaf. She's literally making money off of the most horrific thing imaginable. Like, girl, you're the one who orchestrated this entire tragedy, and now you're trying to sell us merch, modeling shots, TikToks about self-love. It's giving main character delusion. I cannot. The wildest part is how she's doubling down on rewriting history. She literally tried to change her own Wikipedia page, y'all. Instead of it saying, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is known for the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard, she edited it to say she's known for being a victim of Munchausen's by proxy. Like, ma'am, that's not how this works. You don't just Control+C your past and expect everyone to clap.
Yeah. To talk about the Barney conspiracy.
Sure.
Okay, so because Ken and I were talking yesterday, and he's like, what's up with the whole Barney thing? And I'm like, dude, they have this whole conspiracy theory laid out in their minds that, you know, I placed the Barney by the bed and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, you want to know what happened? My mom was doing laundry the night. Okay, my mom always would fold the laundry on the bed. So that night, she asked me, do you have any laundry in your room that you want washed? So I gathered clothes up and the ball, and I put it in the hamper. She did a load of laundry. She took the laundry from the hamper that she just washed and folded them on the bed, okay? As she would always do. When she had the Barney behind her, because sometimes I'd have stuffed animals by the, pillow. So that is the big conspiracy about the Barney. That's what happened about the Barney.
And then you go into her bedroom.
Yep.
Okay. Is her bed got blankets on it? Is her bed on the floor? What kind of bed does she have?
It was the biggest thing I can remember about is that it was full, and I mean full of stuffed animals.
Okay.
Gosh.
How did you raise a bed if there's a bunch of stuffed animals?
We threw all of it off of it.
Okay.
It was,
Throwing them off onto the floor? Or?
yeah, onto the floor because there's too much of it on there. I mean,
Okay.
but the ones that was like part a pillow, but part also a stuffed animal at the same time, we left that on the bed.
Okay.
Just in case you needed any comfort with it.
Do you remember ever seeing a Barney doll, or it's like a purple dinosaur?
Yeah.
Where did you see that at?
Wasn't that even like this one? I was in her room. Wasn't that? I think that was in Gypsy's room.
In Gypsy's room?
That's what I remember.
Okay. But do you remember seeing a purple dinosaur? The Barney dinosaur or whatever?
Well, I know she did watch it, but I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking about this now. No, I don't remember seeing one now.
You don't? Okay.
No, I don't remember seeing one.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
That's called rewriting history, not redemption. And then, oh my God, she actually went on a live where she compared people criticizing her online to the persecution of Jesus. Like, I wish I was kidding. She said that her haters were basically treating her like the world treated Jesus, and that we're all just jealous of her. Girl, what? Jealous of what? The audacity? The delusion? Because that's the only thing worth envying here. At this point, her behavior's gone beyond narcissism. It's not just about attention anymore. It's this weird God complex, this need to control the narrative, to reshape reality so she always comes out looking like the misunderstood victim, instead of the mastermind behind one of the most disturbing true crime cases in modern history. And you know what's genuinely scary about that? The influence. The fact that she's out here with millions of followers, being idolized by teenagers who maybe don't even know the full story. They see a pretty face, a sad backstory, and a redemption arc. And they think, wow, she's so strong.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me. So she blames Dee Dee for everything. Y'all, my alarm guy just showed up, so it's going to get a little loud. So she blames Dee Dee for everything. But what about Rod and Christy? She clearly had access to them, right? They had access to her. She had access to them. She had access to Mia, who she was reaching out to when Mia was just 9 years old, telling her to look up information on Dan, remember? So why doesn't she blame them for coming to rescue her? They knew that Dee Dee was telling them she had all these medical issues. So why didn't they care more? Why didn't they ask more questions? Why wasn't Rod involved? Was it because Christy wouldn't let him be?
But what are we really teaching people when someone can take a life and then turn around and monetize it like a brand deal? It's dangerous. It's manipulative. And honestly, it's a masterclass in how to control public perception. She's been doing it since day one. Even now, years later, she's still playing the victim. Not because she is one, but because it's profitable to be one. So apparently, Gypsy and her little circle of minions, her PR team, her besties, whatever she calls them, are out here trying to crawl through the internet shadows, filing copyright strikes and taking down pages, videos, Reddit posts, basically anything that doesn't worship the ground she walks on. And the wild part? She's doing all this while acting like she's so unbothered. Like, girl, how are you going to claim you don't care what people say while also launching a whole operation to silence people? It's not adding up, sweetheart. And yeah, I get it. Nobody wants to see bad stuff about themselves online. But when you've literally been convicted of murdering your mother, maybe just sit this one out? Like, the internet isn't bullying you, babe. They're just reminding you of what you did.
The excuse that she was too far away. Look at the beautiful relationship Rod and Mia have. How could he want that with one daughter? How could he give that to one daughter, knowing he had another one who supposedly had all these medical issues, supposedly was struggling? Y'all, my dog is going crazy because he's trimming the bushes up front. But think about that. Where is the fault in Rod? Why doesn't she blame Rod for anything? Rod had 2 other kids. Well, 3, but you get what I'm saying. He had 2 at home. 2 at home that he loved, that he raised, that he built a beautiful bond with Mia. She was just posting videos about going hunting with her dad and Rod teasing her about wearing too much makeup. Gypsy didn't get any of that. And on the flip side, Gypsy's always saying that Dee Dee would come get her, which we know that didn't happen. When Dan's friends called Dee Dee, Gypsy went willingly, but she didn't know who to call for help. No, everybody would always take her back. Nobody would believe her. Why not call Rod or Christy? Why not Facebook them? You had access to them. So why don't you blame them for not helping you? Did Christy stop Rod from having a relationship with you? Or did Rod just not want one? Either way you look at it, if she's going to play the victim card, Dee Dee's not the only one to blame.
So, Operation Cockroach. Let's talk about why this name is both hilarious and weirdly accurate. Because when you think about it, yeah, cockroaches are resilient, sure. They survive nuclear blasts and all that. But they're also pests. They creep around in the dark, they spread nastiness, they pop up when you least want to. Sound familiar? Because Gypsy's whole vibe right now is giving roach in the walls energy.
Straight up facts. Let's watch again how he doesn't instinctively grab for her hand. She has to tap him. She's like, we're being recorded. He just has the look of, how did she convince me to come back? Sidebar here. I want you guys to really look right here and see the trouble GRB is having. Now, this reminds me, my friend sent me a bunch of screenshots from a 1Q to 1.1 micro deletion group, which is the same micro deletion GRB has, with a bunch of posts of how adults have continuing, if not new, side conditions from the micro deletion. Now, think about the Easter video when she was having trouble walking, pushing that stroller. I think she is most definitely having continuing symptoms. Obviously, the microdeletion does cause low muscle tone and weakness. But of course, no mention of that ever, because that would mean the narrative that she was pushing isn't true, that she is in fact not unscathed. Just wanted to touch on that too. But yes, won't hold her hand in public.
And that's the whole thing about Gypsy. She wants control, always has. She doesn't want anyone talking about the inconsistencies in her story, the evidence that doesn't match her narrative, or the lies people have already caught her in. She wants a perfectly polished version of herself online. The brave survivor, the misunderstood daughter, the girl who just wanted freedom. Anything that doesn't fit that image, she'll try to erase it. But here's where it gets dark, because this is classic narcissistic behavior. It's textbook. When someone like Gypsy can't handle criticism, they start rewriting history. They twist reality, gaslight everyone, and erase proof that doesn't serve their story. She's been doing this for years. Remember when she tried to rewrite her Wikipedia page to make it sound like she was just a victim of Munchausen by proxy? Not, an actual murderer? Yeah, that. And now this Operation Cockroach mess is just an extension of that. A way to clean up her image, silence dissent, and play the victim all over again.
Well, a couple of mornings ago, I woke up and it's like a flashback. It's a very faded memory. That it's like I have two versions of memories. I have the one that I have been believing this whole time. And then it's like I have a glimpse of another where I did stand up. And then there's another memory that I have that I didn't. And I don't know which one's real. And that's the kind of shit that I am processing. So when you come to me and you ask me, well, did this happen? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when my brain is going to process what happened, but it's not going to be on your time.
PTSD.
You know what I'm saying?
But let's take a step back and really unpack this cockroach symbolism. Because, girl, it's uncanny. Cockroaches are resilient, yeah, but they also thrive in filth. They avoid the light. They hide when you turn it on. They only come out when the coast is clear. Tell me that doesn't sound exactly like how Gypsy operates. Think about it. When it came time to face her mom, she didn't do it in daylight, in the open, in honesty. No, she waited until the dark, until her mom was asleep, and sent Nicholas to do it for her, just like a roach, hiding until it's safe to crawl out and cause damage. And then there's the cannibalism thing. Yeah, cockroaches literally eat their own when they're desperate. And doesn't that fit Gypsy's "sorry mama, gotta survive" logic perfectly? She's the one who turned on her own blood, convinced herself it was self-preservation, and then spun that horror story into a redemption arc. It's twisted, but it's so on brand.
Why does Gypsy Rose Blanchard have custody of a baby when she's a pred? We have to save Gypsy Rose Blanchard's baby. Did you know that there's overwhelming evidence that she is a child pred? Exhibit 1, straight from Greene County Sheriff's Department, reads, Gypsy introduces herself as Demona. She talked about being in love with him and how he wanted to live together. She talked about having children with Nicholas and said that they would have to teach and educate their children on what not to say to keep him being a vampire a secret. She said if they had a girl, that she would have to lose her V to Nicholas when she was 13 years old. She said she would explain to her daughter why she had to lose it to Nicholas. She talked about being Nicholas's slave and what he could do to her. Her explanation for this has changed over the years. I've followed this case for over a decade. And at first she said Nicholas told her to say those things and that he was writing scripts for her to read to him on video. But that's not what she tells Kel Lowry.
And then Nick told you at one point that if y'all ever had a daughter together, he would take your daughter's virginity at 13.
Correct. And I broke up with him after he said that.
And now, instead of facing her past, she's back to scurrying around in the dark corners of the internet, flagging posts, silencing critics, hiding behind a PR team. It's like, girl, if you're really that unbothered, why are you crawling all over everyone's YouTube pages? What kills me, though, is how she's trying to make this whole cockroach thing empowering. Like, she literally said on a live stream that she's the cockroach people can't get rid of. She was hyping herself up like, yeah, I'm gonna be that annoying little bug you can't squash. Babe, that's not the self-empowerment moment you think it is. Because sure, cockroaches survive, but they also infest. They spread disease. They freak people out. And they never stop showing up where they're not wanted. So if that's the identity you're claiming, go off, I guess.
We had a huge argument after that. I broke up with him. I'm like, I'm done. I called him a bunch of names. I was like, I'm never gonna let you do that. So you just lost me. And then he basically talked me back by saying, I would never do that. That was my other personality, but I would never let him do that. So I got back together with him based on his promises.
And a lot of people that don't follow Gypsy Rose don't realize she's had emails released recently. And in those emails, she's saying that Ryan received an adult act in front of a 5-year-old child. This is all alleged. This is what she said in the emails. But then she goes on to marry him. And we can't forget, when she was first released, her cell inmates were saying that the Preds, that's what she hung out with. And I don't know if you guys have read her book, but she claims a lot of SA from her grandfather and mother, but the way she describes it, it just ain't giving SA survivor. Like I am, I wouldn't talk like that. Aurora's safety is why I post about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. If it was trying to get justice for Dee Dee, I want justice for Dee Dee, but she's not going to be able to get locked up for that. Understand. My concern is she doesn't have a normal bonding mechanism inside her. I mean, it was just her and her mom for 24 years and she, like that. Being a parent is hard. Being a parent is really hard. So it's just very concerning when you know she had that baby to trap Ken. As soon as that baby stops trapping Ken, what is she gonna do? Thank you guys for watching, and please talk about this yourself or share my video, because we need to collectively be concerned for this baby.
And then, just when you think she can't top it, she starts comparing herself to Jesus Christ. Like, girl, no. She said that she feels crucified by the public for walking in her truth. I can't even say that without rolling my eyes into another dimension. Gypsy, you're not being persecuted for telling the truth. You're being criticized for manipulating it. She literally went on a rant saying she's not comparing herself to Jesus while comparing herself to Jesus. Like, make it make sense. She said, they crucified Jesus for standing in his truth, so I'm just doing the same. Girl, you're not being crucified. You're being called out. There's a difference.
Gypsy Rose did not just compare herself to Jesus Christ, except she did.
I am in no way saying I'm anything like Christ. I try and model Christ on Sundays. I read my Bible. I try to model the path of Jesus. I really do. But if you think on it, and you just think on it for a second, the Jews crucified Jesus because they didn't believe that he was the Messiah. And if he would have just said, I am not the Messiah, I'm just a mortal man, they wouldn't have crucified him. But he died because he died in his truth. Now let that sit with people.
Y'all, this was in a live stream, and she's comparing her situation, the unaliving of her mother, a senseless act. Just when I think GRB cannot dig herself deeper, she somehow winds up doing just that. I don't even know what to say about this. Let's go ahead and talk about this in the comments, because my baby is also babbling in the backseat.
And I'm sorry, but let's just break that down logically. Jesus healed people. Gypsy lied about being sick. Jesus gave to the poor. Gypsy took from the sick and disabled. Jesus loved children. Gypsy literally pretended to be one to scam people and win charity prizes. So, respectfully, Miss Girl, the comparison doesn't track. What's wild is that this whole thing, the strikes, the comparisons, the PR drama, all of it comes back to one core truth. Gypsy cannot stand not being in control. Every move she's made since she got out of prison has been about controlling the narrative. She doesn't want accountability. She wants admiration. She doesn't want truth. She wants sympathy. And when people stop giving her that, boom, Operation Cockroach. And the sad part is, her fan base enables it.
Lovely, if you want to support Gypsy Rose, you go on right ahead, honey. Do not come over here with those lies. Gypsy Rose, not once, not ever, did she mention abuse in her interrogation. When this video muted, when she brought up the guardianship papers, she's talking about her medical shit, which we are not allowed to hear. Just they are. If she would have said abuse, they would have let us hear that, which she never fucking says. If you've watched the interrogation like you claim, you heard Gypsy bring up her Aunt Rachel and Uncle Ray before she ever even mentions these damn guardianship papers. She says, what about my Aunt Rachel who live in Kansas City, Missouri? She's not even trying to get back to Louisiana. She's just trying to get a hold of somebody in Kansas City, Missouri. If you notice, when the video starts back up again, she says Ray. Gypsy Rose went into this interrogation lying on her own. The girl had on a hospital band that had her actual birthday and spelling of her name and told Detective Hancock that it was the wrong birthday. That, oh no, she She's 19, not 23. She lied. And the fact that the hospital van has the correct info on it means the hospital had the correct info. They tell her she's being charged with murder. What does she do? Oh, no, I can't go to jail. I have a lot of health issues. I'm worried about none of that shit when she murdered her mom and only took pain pills and a feeding tube, flogger, her IDs, maps, allergy meds, and condoms.
She's surrounded by yes men and sycophants who tell her how strong and inspiring she is every time she opens her mouth, even when she's contradicting herself mid-sentence. She thrives on that attention, the validation, the worship, the spotlight. It's the same manipulative pattern, just repackaged for social media, because that's what narcissists do. They rewrite, they distort, they gaslight, and the second you start questioning them, you become the enemy. We've even seen it in her little friend circle. The second someone questions her or disagrees with her narrative, they're out, blocked, gone.
I'll say it was all Dee Dee, but Gypsy was in the text messages with Nicholas Godejohn asking him, is there a hospital near your house? Telling this man she wanted to move off to a secluded area. Not only did that little weirdo make that Facebook post, the bee is dead, she was fucking online pulling some straight Brian Koberger, Idaho 4 shit and looking up missing daughter and dead mother. But y'all think she ain't capable of running a con. Yeah, okay, Delulu. That person claims, oh, I didn't know how to get help, but will hop on the fucking Facebook here, come up with an alarming status to post to alert them to a dead body. And then make it look like she had been kidnapped and great. The whole time she's the murderer. Come on, at this point, y'all make up the excuses for her. She ain't even got to do it. And look, this ain't all alleged. That's straight from Gypsy Rose's shit, but it is for entertainment purposes only, in my opinion. But honey, she did the shit. She did it.
So yeah, the next time you see Gypsy Rose Blanchard trending for another Disney trip or Harry Potter moment or new chapter in life, just remember, this isn't a fairy tale. This isn't some whimsical comeback story. This is someone who is trying to rewrite the past and turn tragedy into a lifestyle.
She's a good baby. I can't complain, you know, but she looks a lot like Mia did when Mia was a baby. It freaks me out. When I glance at her, sometimes I gotta do a double take because I'm like, did I just see Mia?
I love that.
Yeah. Rod's mom says I'm naming her Mini, because Mia, a lot of my friends call her Mimi sometimes that was a nickname that they gave her when I was pregnant for her. And
Hi, Jan.
she looks a lot like Mia.
Okay, Charlotte. Who does?
Aurora. Aurora looks a lot like Mia's baby pictures. I'm gonna send you
Yeah, I'm gonna
a
have to see
picture
it.
I did, the pic collage.
Because I just always see fucking Ken. I do see some
Same.
and her coming out, like, which probably, I mean, it might be some to me too, but I need to see a picture of her. But I know, like, somebody, freaking Zora was saying, like, she looks identical to Dee Dee. No, she doesn't. I mean, not that, and that wouldn't even
I
be a
don't think
bad
she looks
thing.
anything
And I'm
like
not even
Dee
trying
Dee.
to say that, and then, like, oh no, it's just she doesn't. Like, you're lying. You're just saying that just to say it. Because that, like I
I
said, it
just
wouldn't be
see
a
that
bad
they try to
thing.
prove they have pictures of the baby, which they obviously don't, because she
No,
doesn't
well, the
look
thing
like
is,
Dee Dee.
Zora, somebody did give Zora a picture, supposedly, like somebody that we talked about. But the thing is, she's just saying that. She's literally lying. Because that baby don't look like Dee Dee.
I didn't think she ever had one.
Repeating that because it has not because I'm just
The
saying.
Blanchard genes are strong
Yeah.
in this child.
It must be.
But look, for the family reunion, Ken was sitting down and Mia was on the side of him sitting. And Ken was holding Aurora. Everybody in the family was like, oh my God, she looks like Mia. And Ken was just like rolling his eyes like, damn it. Can y'all say she looks like Mia? It was funny. And Mia just laughing. But, she's a good baby. I can't complain. I miss, I forgot to do some, but that's okay. It's my job to spoil her rotten.
Anyway, that's the tea, girl. Like, what do you think? Do you feel like Gypsy's changed? Or do you think she's just learned how to play the game better? Because honestly, I have thoughts, but I want to hear yours. Drop them down below, tell me where you're watching from, and what time it is right now. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on, okay? Because I have a feeling the next part of this story's about to get even messier.